Welcome to Cinekuest Video.
No, it was the woods themselves. They're alive, actually.
I fear that the only way to stop those possessed by the spirits of the book is through the act of bodily dismemberment.
I don't care what happens to her. She's your girlfriend. You take care of her.
Welcome to Cinekuest Video, episode number 55. We are on the last trilogy, well, the last hard trilogy of the year. And that is the Evil Dead trilogy. And of course, we're starting off with the first movie, Evil Dead, 1981.
Mm-hmm. Vintage.
Classic, vintage, retro. If you've never seen it, you've only seen the remake, which was in 2013.
Then I feel sorry
Respectable.
for you.
Respectable.
I still haven't watched it. I need to. I guess it'd probably be like a quick 10-minute shit fest.
You know the movie is longer than 10 minutes, right?
No, I meant like my attention span. Excuse me.
Oh, whatever. I assume you can't really watch a movie unless someone's here with you to...
Yeah, I get bored.
Focus you.
Yeah, to like direct me. Wait, no, it's still got another
Roland,
hour.
look at the
Roland,
TV screen.
Roland, look,
It's not working.
Look.
It's not working.
It's moving pictures.
I've got two TVs. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I want to watch the other one now.
Yeah, that's right. You do have two. You have two fucking TVs here in your room.
Yeah.
And just hard for you to keep your attention on just the one.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I have two. And I want three. At some
Way to
point in the
exacerbate your
future.
ADD, bud.
I know. Actually, you know what? It helps me. It helps keep me. It actually helps sort of keep me on a kind of a task, I guess, because you know.
Do your eyes split into
the
like
task of switching attention from screen to screen, or
It's not as difficult as you think.
oh, what's happening over here? Oh, hey, what's
Well, it's
over
because
here?
like I got the main.
YouTube, Reddit,
Yeah.
YouTube, Facebook, Reddit, YouTube.
Yep. Gmail.
One email. Oh, Facebook.
Yep. I'm going back. I'm gonna open up all 12 tabs on YouTube here and keep me busy. And I think I'm gonna reorganize the 500 videos I've got on my watch later list on YouTube, which I just finished the other day, and it was actually 700. And now I've got them all set in their playlists. Here, look. Let me show you.
No, it's all right. We're getting off topic now.
We'll take your word for it, bud.
No, I've got them set up by category. Okay, there's like cooking videos, there's learning, there's the Firmo-quest. Fuck you guys.
All right, so Evil Dead. Again, my name is Ray. I was gonna say Roland.
Wow.
Roland, you're sitting right over there with your ADHD bullshit.
Whatever. I'm functioning.
Daniel, you are in the Pacific Northwest studios still.
That I am. Yes.
Hope they're treating you well still.
They fucked up on the beer supply today, man. I've had to stretch out only 4 beers.
Wow.
Only 4 beers? Jesus.
Yeah, and I did 2 of them. Like was finishing the second one when you showed up. So I've had to show some real self-restraint because I wanted at least to have a couple, wet the whistle beers while we're recording. So
Right, for sure.
and I'm about 1.5 away from empty, and that's unfortunate. But I have cut 3 of my employees' hours for the next week. And I think it's going to send a nice little message to not fuck around next time. Tough but fair, because I roll the dice to figure out who was getting the time off.
Fair and balanced.
No PTO though, because I ain't paying that shit.
Okay, so
How dare they disgrace this studio with this lackluster display of wonderful beers to enjoy.
well, I hope they learned their lesson for next recording.
Someone needs to get sacked next time.
Well, be a little bit more forceful, a bit more aggressive. So
Maybe I'll start buying bottles because, cans only kind of like clank against a wall when you throw them at somebody when you want another one.
especially if it's empty, right?
But beer, like bottles send a message, like I ain't fucking around. Like, I will clean this up. And yeah, my entire apartment's carpet. That's how the whole studio is carpeted.
Studio has a fridge, a restroom, a bathroom,
Yeah. So,
a bedroom.
and, reasonable studio rent, won't disclose that because, if, never mind. I was going to try to politicize this little like Trump tax return shit, but never mind.
Speaking of tax returns, Evil Dead, Roland.
Oh, yeah.
When was the first time, or what is your background with Evil Dead?
I love the whole series. I was telling Daniel earlier, the first Evil Dead was the first one I saw, but to me, the one that actually got me into like the whole series or understanding it as a series was Army of Darkness. When I saw that, I was like, that's what really got my attention. I guess to care. I did love the first Evil Dead though, because of all of the body horror and the gore and just the like gratuitous, blood and guts and just silliness.
Well, and it was campy.
It was very, very like almost no real plot or dialogue to speak of. Like Ray was, like you were telling me earlier, this is all about the effects, baby. And the fact that they had like a shoestring budget kind of thing. What was it? It says here that...
It says the budget was like $350,000.
Right, $350,000 to $400,000, but like I think they were
And they rented the car from somebody's uncle.
Yeah, they fronted... I think they were first fronted like $90,000 for... to start, but the film, like Raimi, Sam Raimi made a sort of a proof of concept pilot, I guess, film.
It was called Within the Woods,
right.
Like a little short film.
And I'd like to see that if it's available anywhere at some point. Probably not, but
You probably see it on YouTube, probably
$1,600, and was able to find some backing. But he just. All of the actors were just like family and friends and stuff. Bruce Campbell, which is his starting role.
Was his high school buddy? Huh?
I'm not sure. I guess I don't know. If you say so. He helped produce The Evil Dead and ended up getting asked to star in it. He was also the only actor willing to stay during the entirety of the movie production. Most of everybody that they got, were just family and friends, and they, made them all stay in the cabin that this was filmed in for the entirety of the recording.
Seems very trauma-like. Lloyd Kaufman probably would have done the same.
They all slept in the same room, that kind of shit.
They're forcing like method acting onto these guys.
So
you're having a sleepover. It's a great weekend, right, guys?
Yeah.
It's a horror movie. You're not paying us shit.
I'll quit your shit. There's a fan.
You're about to get famous. Shut up.
You get electric.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Go to sleep.
So
Lights out.
the original name of the movie was supposed to be Book of the Dead. Raimi, was like a obvious H.P. Lovecraft fan. For anyone that has not seen this movie, there's an actual Necronomicon in here. In fact, this is Raimi.
Is it a real Necronomicon or is it like a
real Necronomicon?
Yeah.
Or is it like
Sorry, could you please?
Well, let me just say, is it
Explain,
an
Ray.
authentic book with the actual
or is it a
text
knockoff
in there?
Necronomicon?
Or is it like just like a prop, like where the actual like book that he purchased?
I mean, did you ever own the Evil Dead, the Necronomicon version of the
No,
book series?
I didn't.
So, like,
I owned the actual Necronomicon, a real one, written in blood and skin and shit.
and skin and poo, right?
Yeah, human feces was the index.
So I think that was just it might have been like concept art for the gore. I don't know, like, but I know I've seen little like mini art book kind of memorabilia with that that kind of stuff in there, like in the movie. Can't vouchsafe for its authenticity, unfortunately, Ray. As you say, it's.
Well,
it might not be legit.
When I say authenticity, I mean, is it just a book with blank pages in it, or is it like a book that they purchased and then they kind of decorated it?
Oh, I mean, I would assume
because you can purchase a Necronomicon, a real
you sell them at Barnes and Noble,
real quote unquote Necronomicon.
Yeah.
They have the mass market version in the movie. They just decorated with like some plastic and shit and rubber.
Yeah, I think that might have been what they did. They probably went to Hobby Lobby and got one of those little personal. Pocketbooks and just
they fucked up a huge sheet of bologna.
Yeah,
and then wrapped it around.
stuck some goat teeth or whatever in there.
Some black olives for the eyes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Daniel,
and so the various versions of the Necronomicon in this movie, that was what the actors who had to stay in the house or in the cabin rather had to eat during the filming.
That's all baloney, right? You can't waste that. It's catering and props,
There you go.
Yeah.
It takes care. It cleans up after itself.
Daniel, do you have any long history with Evil Dead, or like have you just like you've only seen it like maybe once or twice, or?
I've seen it a few times, and then actually Roland and I were talking yesterday about how the three of us went to go see that university production where they had like
the Broadway
Evil Dead,
the musical
theater production where we're all sing-songy and shit.
That was fun. That was fun. Yeah.
Necronomicon. Yeah, it was like if you crossed Evil Dead with grease.
But like Roland, and we were talking about this like we were watching the movie. It's like our my shit. It's like Army of Darkness. Like fucking one of my prized possessions, actually I think a Christmas gift Orly got me one year, where it was like the screw head edition of fucking Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
What's the screw head edition for you?
It's just got some like extra scenes or some like bonus features, some bullshit. Like I
use or whatever.
Never really know. Like watch the movie or watch that disc like once, and I didn't really notice anything different. But maybe if I read the back jacket, I mean, it's just back there behind that door on the shelf. It's there. Under the Mighty Python and Mel Brooks, it's there.
I actually owned the bootleg version, which was, I guess, just novelty because the actual, I would say the coloring and the lighting was real dark in the bootleg version. But the only thing you would get different from the original movie, other than like the more raw, not color corrected version of the movie, was the alternate ending, where it wasn't him at the store, but where he woke up years later and it's like the fucking apocalypse and shit like that.
Yeah. Word. I love that ending. I've probably seen like a bunch of different versions of this movie, and maybe the Screen Edition has that ending. I can't remember, but fucking so I enjoy the fuck out of this series. I sometimes actually forget Evil Dead 2 is kind of a thing, even though it's fucking hilarious. I just
somehow
just doesn't exist to me like when I think about the series.
The Evil Dead 2 was sort of the jump into the more like dark comedy, the heavier comedy elements than the first one. The first one is more like, you know, shock gore or whatever.
Right.
And before
humor.
like we get to your history with this this movie and this movie series, I guess, Ray, I think that we have good reason to start whatever we're going to call TV Quest with Ash versus the Evil Dead
the TV series. About, I mean, if we do that, I'd want to go into Stan versus Evil after that one.
Yeah, but I mean, like that'd be like a great, because I mean, it'd be a nice logical extension, maybe something for 2021.
Sure. Seems like something we could do.
We'll round out this series in November, you know, or maybe this month, but I don't know what your release schedule is going to be. But you've been pumping them out pretty quick, so.
Right.
But we have a lot of stuff we're doing this month, so once again, maybe November's when we'll actually finish this shit, which is fine. But sorry, fans. We're gonna probably cut this shit. Why are you guys planning your next like month episode out now?
Don't worry about
it. Month of episodes.
We usually talk ahead of time,
Dumbasses.
anyways. It's all right.
Yeah.
My first one I saw in the series was fucking Evil Dead 2, and that's because I went with I think I was in high school, freshman in high school. I went with my friend to the video store and saw the cover, the skull, Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn. Seemed only appropriate to rent it. It was a very enticing cover.
Oh, you rented it?
I rented it, yeah.
Wow.
And loved it. Had no idea Army of Darkness was attached to this series. Like none whatsoever. Went on the hunt for the first Evil Dead, which is the one we just saw. Found it. Realized very similar. Evil Dead 2 is a little bit more, has a bit more humor. This one's just straight horror. I mean, it is amusing to watch now, but I would imagine their entire motive was just to make a straight horror movie. Gory. In fact, the rating itself was NC-17. Yeah. Because I'm assuming because of the violence. And then there's a scene in here with
the tentacle porn scene.
The rape with the tree.
Right. The tree.
And I remember my reaction when I saw it the first time. I was like,
is that a
the branch? Well, not even that. The branches are like pulling her legs apart, and I was like, are they gonna fucking do what I think they're gonna do?
Yeah.
And you just see the tree trunk just fucking slam into her legs.
It's just whipped
like
right
donkey
into her.
punches her basically. Like,
yeah.
But actually, there was a point in time when I still own the movie, and I had some cousins of mine who were like still in elementary school come over to my house. And I was working at the Pizza Hut at the time. And I think I was going to go to work. And I was going to leave them there at my house by myself until their parents came to pick them up. And, you know, I watched a lot of horror movies when I was a kid. Didn't really faze me at all, you know. Watched pretty much
saw
anything.
This when I was like in junior high, I think.
Well, I mean, I was watching like the Lost Boys, Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
All these other movies when I was in elementary. So I didn't really think if I showed them a horror movie, it would faze them that much.
Yeah, you're already desensitized.
Yeah, right. So I said, "Yeah, y'all want to watch the movie Evil Dead?" And they just, "Yeah, sure." And like they're like probably in first and like fourth grade or some shit like that. I don't remember the grade, but they were in elementary school. So I put it in, press play,
and you scarred them.
Close my door, and left.
you just hear him screaming on this. Let it off.
I heard years later that I had scared the shit out of them when I put that movie on, and they never wanted to watch Evil Dead again because it scared the shit out of them. And I thought,
what a positive experience!
I felt a slight bit of regret, but
I thought you were gonna say pride.
Oh, should be joy. All joy.
It was just a slight regret, but joy all around because I was like, well, I'm glad I just killed all that fucking.
I'm glad I was a.
Preconceived notions about what you were about to watch in my room, you know, and then I just showed them. And every time they hear that fucking laugh, like apparently like it freaks them the fuck out when the girl's like,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
I did like that laugh and like
so Ray,
the whole possession.
Next family reunion, fucking have that as your ringtone and your text message sound.
I should,
and just tell us like, hey, I'm here. And I will, at work, I'll just pull out my phone like, I'm taking a quality picture. Nope. Messaging Ray to fuck with his cousins.
It would if those cousins were still here during family vacations. They're actually like off and about. But they come around every so often. But I mean, from both of them, same reaction. Got scared shitless from watching Evil Dead. And I can see why, you know.
Ray.
I can see why, you know. But if you're just a kid watching it,
I can't. I don't get it.
I mean, if you're a first grader and you hear that, you see that girl's fucking eyes, and then all the gory fucking heads being chopped off, eyes fucking getting gouged out by the thumbs, you
Getting
know,
stabbed by
it's all great.
knives.
I personally think it's great. Some kids might
axe
have a
murder.
negative effect
I'm
towards
sorry.
such a movie.
It's all in self-defense.
It's all right.
I mean, seeing all of that, like the only, and I was telling you before, you guys before we were recording, the only actual, like, I guess, attack that sort of makes me flinch is when Ash's sister stabs one of the girls with the pencil in the foot and just.
It was a
kinda
dude,
like,
though, isn't it?
No.
Nah,
It
for the
was
chicks.
No,
it
it's on
was
the chicks
the
account.
the sister was the first one that was possessed, I believe. And
Yeah, so when she turned, she fucking jabbed
she jabs Ash's girlfriend,
Linda.
yeah, in the foot, like right on the Achilles, and just sort of like, you know, twists it around and stuff. And I was just like, oh,
Yeah, that's probably like my favorite scene in that movie. And again, you can kind of feel that in your that scene.
that's one you can relate to.
Yeah, that, and I don't know if you remember in Pet Sematary where the kid has the fucking scalpel and he slices the same
That same area, the Achilles.
the Achilles heel. Yeah, he
shit,
slices
that
the guy that plays was it Munster?
Eddie Munster.
Eddie? Well, no, the dad.
Oh,
Herman
Munster.
Munster.
He slices like Herman Munster's fucking like Achilles heel, like,
Yeah.
and he fucking just goes, "Ooh," fucking falls over. You can, because you see the fucking scalpel go right through it.
Yeah.
You feel that shit too, you know.
Dude,
Speaking
I also
of,
felt when Scotty got his face gouged with the fucking nails.
Oh, I
was just like, that would be uncomfortable.
okay. That one kind of made me laugh, but I mean, that's cool because it's just funny how
Scotty
that
was
goes.
a dick, so that's probably why.
Oh, man, he deserved way
that guy
worse.
was a fucking asshole.
He deserved way worse. But I was going to say earlier, it's funny that you mentioned the Pet Sematary because Stephen King loved this movie.
Oh yeah, of course.
He gave it a great, supposedly he gave it a great review, and that was what prompted it to get picked up by I forgot who distributed this fucking movie.
You know, a movie like this, of course, it only works well in film. If it was actual story, it would be a short story, and with a few like gory details of the
It'd
deaths.
be like one of the forgotten Lovecraft
New Line Cinema.
Sure,
stories.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he was there.
He
at the
goes
screening
mad, all
of
that
the
kind of
film.
shit, you know.
He was there at the fucking first review, I guess.
And particularly when we get to, hand choppery later on.
Oh well, it started off as
would have been total Lovecraft, just short story kind of fodder.
Yeah, I mean, like there's an unspeakable evil, an unspeakable.
This totally
ephemeral
works.
evil.
You could just say, inspired by a story of H.P. Lovecraft. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
But if you set it within the corpus of Lovecraftian-esque works,
right,
it'd be run of the mill, not very exciting. No one gives a shit,
right. And I mean,
maybe this would have a little bit of hype, but there's a bunch of other cool stories where, what is that one?
Absolutely.
The Stranger, fuck.
Oh,
Is that the name, Ray?
Any of them really.
Where the dude realizes that there's a monster or whatever, but he ends up being the monster or whatever.
Is it The Stranger in the Castle?
I thought it was the rats in the walls.
I don't know, man.
No, I know what you're talking about, but yeah, that's
kind of blur together.
that was a good one though. Yeah, there's a guy. He's cooped up in a castle, and then people see him and they freak out and leave, and he's like, "What? I don't understand. Where's the monster?" And he's in the end, he's looking at a mirror and he sees it's him. He's the creature.
Freak. He's the castle freak.
And Yeah, this would have been like definitely a 1-pager or whatever for Lovecraft. But again,
1-pager.
again, the main
because he has to throw in, and the moon has an eldritch tone.
Right, he's got
there
it was a gibbous moon,
and this was not an area for the lesser people of America.
Then he's got to throw in
this
all
was
the
for the pure white people.
He's got to throw in all the
fucking Lovecraft, man. Like,
he's got to throw in all the Latin summoning words or whatever. So ep grande latte, chili reno, salsa con verde, poof, evil.
Caramel macchiato.
Patronus.
Nacho Bel Grande.
Yes. And then the most evil, dark spell that could be cast upon a man. The Burrito Supreme.
I was going to say, Botana para dos. So yeah, I mean, like, yeah, the main draw to this movie is again the special effects, which was done by one guy, apparently, Tom Sullivan. I don't know what other movies he worked on. Oh well, Evil Dead 2, The Fly 2, and Army of Darkness. It looks like
appears his filmography is pretty short, ended in like almost a decade. He was just decades long, pretty much.
I guess so.
He did Within the Woods, the short film, and then basically the trilogy, and then The Fly 2. Mm-hmm. It's pretty strange.
Dude, you know what, dude? Like, he's probably still, like, if he's still alive, he's probably still chilling off all that.
I'm sure, yeah.
Probably.
Or he could be just doing the conventions,
Or he could just be teaching.
Or he could be teaching at
like,
Tom Savini's School of
exactly.
Effects.
Fucking Tom Savini. Backup buddy. So... so this aside from that, this movie has all of the standard Lovecraft tropes. The Necronomicon being the obvious, super obvious reference.
Possession is it possession?
The unseen horror that
possession
terrorizes everyone
by evil entities.
I think also it's also representative when they're actually filming. Like how the camera's like going through the woods. Oh, that could be like
he used a lot of those like slanted camera angles. I think it said, I was looking here. It said that's a Dutch angle. I don't know what the hell that means.
It's giving the camera almost like a character, being it's its own character.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Right. It gives it a presence. Tilted angles, oblique angles. It's just
what other are there any other angle. Lovecraftian characteristics in this movie?
Apart from madness, which we haven't really discussed,
just all the supernatural fun. They're
it's actual like the actual spirit world invading the real world,
right? And
not even just to cause scares, but literally to cause death,
right? And it's just like an unnamed, unexplained sort of existence of evil. That kind of he does a lot of those things where you don't really describe everything in detail. It's just there, and they're there to maybe they'll survive. That's about it.
In a lot of ways, this is not Lovecraftian. With some of the like reanimation tropes or possession tropes, like those aren't really so present in his thing. Like there's always like some horror, some creeping doom or impending doom like going on, and it could be a god, it could be the end result of someone's own madness or someone's own deformed figure wreaking terror.
Would you say like in Lovecraft there's like probably whenever they're going mad is more self-mutilation as opposed to the entity actually causing harm onto someone physically?
Right. Like, they're snapping in response to whatever stimuli in
sort of just
Lovecraft's world.
All that's under body horror, I guess, as far as that goes.
But I don't think that, but no, like, I mean, there's a little bit of body horror in Lovecraft, but mostly it's like normal folks stumbling upon random bullshit that is fucking just out of this world terrifying. And some of them snap, some of them escape barely with their lives,
Right.
Always like can't remember I think it's at the Mountains of Madness or whatever. But they go exploring and they see all these great
well, they do see
extraterrestrial archaeological remains and shit.
Quite a few. Yeah, well, I mean, there are a few kind of like, I suppose, crazier-ish, tentacle monsters, that kind of stuff.
But it never happens to like people. It's always like the normal Dick and Jane stumbling upon, something fantastic.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
One of the things I wanted
versus, being like Ray was saying, like, being, invaded by the force and then being subjected to it or whatever.
Okay.
One of the things I wanted to say or ask was, did it take the actual reading or listening to the person reading the book? Of course, it's a tape recorder of a person who was there before.
Yeah.
And they play it and he's reading the nonsense.
I mean, should we sort of just, go to the basic plot, I guess?
Well, yeah, but the one question, before I forget, the one question I wanted to ask was that, were the entities or the unknown force present already?
They're probably just laying dormant, maybe?
Well, I mean, in the very beginning of the movie, like you see that thing like going through the woods already.
The steering wheel dude.
Yeah, that.
The steering wheel dude?
And
because it already affected before they summoned it. Yeah, Roland. So early on in the movie, when they're just going out driving towards the cabin and they're all like singing in the car, having a good time, we do get some camera shots of like something creeping through the woods, flying, like soaring through them.
That's true.
And then the first like supernatural thing they encounter is the steering wheel gets completely jacked around to try to like run into that fucking Mack truck.
Oh, I thought
the dude was able to cut it back last second.
I thought it was just because
everyone's like, "Hey, what are you doing, asshole?" And he's like, "Dude, your car, it's fucked up,"
I thought he was just driving like an asshole.
Even before the summoning of the entity or whatever to actually possess people, maybe it was always there causing random havoc, but it didn't go like ham until the sacred ramblings were rambled.
Well, yeah, because I mean there was the swing that was going on its own and then it just stops randomly.
Yeah.
And then there was also I forgot what her name was, the possession where she's like,
Linda?
her hand gets all like fucked up and she's like draws the book.
Oh,
by the
that's
gust of
the
wind coming through.
sister.
Yeah, she's the first one to get possessed.
Yeah, she draws the picture of a book on her little whatever.
So maybe they couldn't be released full force until the actual
maybe it gave them power.
Yeah, it gave them more. So maybe let them break through fully into the real world, so to speak.
I didn't think that in the beginning of the movie the guy that the wheel was jacked around by the spirit. I actually thought it was the guy what's his face, what's his name, Scotty was, because he's an asshole.
No, dude, if you were because
at one point he was holding like a bottle.
Attention.
I was watching him hold a fucking jar of moonshine or whatever as he was sipping there and driving. So I just thought he was trying to cut the wheel real hard on driving along there on a blind corner, almost colliding with that fucking Mack truck kind of thing.
I mean, that's cool and all, but
also because like
objectively incorrect.
And also because like Scott's personality, like the guy never takes responsibility for shit. Later on, when they're playing the that tape with the Eldritch summoning ritual or whatever, that Linda screams for them to stop, and she like runs away, and then Ash like sort of gets after Scott, like, dude, why did you keep playing? And Scott still like, even though because Linda had already said like, the first time, like, let's not hear this anymore. And he was like, he started teasing everybody like, hey, don't be a pussy. Look, come on, I want to hear it. And when Ash sort of got after him about it, he was like, well, you could have stopped it too. Why didn't you? Kind of thing. Like he's kind of a total douche and doesn't ever fucking take responsibility for being a prick. She's crazy, that kind of.
Well,
joke.
he was a PR major, so that's it was just like knee jerk.
The other thing before the whole actual possessions, the cellar door opens up by itself while they're eating dinner. Too.
Oh well, like.
Yeah, so they all being all jackass. It's like, hey, let's have a drink, good times.
So the general premise.
Cellar door up.
is that they go to a cabin in the woods to just chill,
Hang out.
and there's this totally absolutely inconspicuous fucking cellar door in one of the rooms with like those fucking loopholes drilled into the top of it for a chain to be slipped through, and nobody comments to that kind of thing at all. They're just, this looks pretty normal, and I mean the house looked like shit too, but
What are you talking about? That's summer home right there.
Yeah.
Have you ever lived in anything better, Roland?
I mean,
or visited anything better during your vacation?
Yes. I mean, I've seen worse.
Liar.
I have visited worse. I do remember Daniel's apartment before he lived with me.
That shithole.
That place sucked. But yeah.
The hallway. Yep.
You mean the crawl space?
Like Harry Potter would have been like, wait, you pay money to live here? My fucking aunt and uncle make me live in this little shit rat hole.
Right.
And it's a palace compared to this place.
I'm happy under the stairs. So yeah, they go to the cabin to chill. They all, drink and eat cheese sandwiches.
I mean, that's
or
basically
whatever.
the gist of the plot. I mean,
Yeah,
there's really not much goes on. It's just that they find
the Necronomicon and tape, recording and
there was
of a professor
a record
who was
player.
studying the Sumerian burials
Right.
and findings and
the
stuff. So I like
Anunnaki.
how this brings back the Sumerians because we've been doing our 12 planet series,
Yeah.
which is dope.
So
But,
they play the tape and it plays a bunch
you
of
say the Nephilim come from the 12th planet and created the Anunnaki. Who
Yeah.
loved the Taco Bell and the burritos.
extra guac. So yeah, like they summon or rather, I guess, empower whatever the spirits of the forest are called, and
And the goddess Ishtar brought a chalupa
I mean, it is kind of
to
funny
Ninlil to broker a peace
that
when
it's-
Ninlil was thinking about annihilating the human race.
it is.
Thank
kind
you
of
for
funny
its
that
cheesy
they
savoriness.
mentioned the Sumerians because
Savoriness.
that spirit is a little heavy on the rapiness, and just like the Sumerian gods were, and so he kind of goes in there and does that tree.
But, okay, so
tentacle
what's cool
whip
about the
scene.
fucking movie is shit doesn't go sideways until they're listening to the tape
Right.
of the professor,
Yeah.
and so it's the recording of the professor saying all this chalupa deluxe burrito, stacked on a nacho platter,
Extra large, extra large. Yeah.
Baja Blast, Baja Blast.
easy ice, easy ice.
Baja Blast with Cinetwists.
Fire, salsa, please.
Cheddar peppers.
But yeah,
I mean,
shit
shit,
doesn't
that's
go
English,
right until
sorry.
they're listening to him speak about all
it's
this
cool
shit.
because it's they're not actually reading the fucking Necronomicon and invoking this shit. It's just this professor going, in
Yeah.
this book, I remember recording this.
Right.
And then shit fucking blows up on them.
Right.
And that sucks.
And,
and which I think is kind of a weird plot hole, which I'm not sure. I don't remember if they fix it in Evil Dead 2, but Ari Darkness and then subsequently the show, got to throw out the phrase of those 6 words,
Oh, the Klaatu Baraka.
Klaatu, Barato, bullshit.
Nictar Nicholson. Yeah. I'm sorry, Daniel. Your face is priceless. Thank you, though.
I thought I was the one drinking.
Oh, I mean, I got my little lemonade. Stuff's not bad.
I thought I was the one drinking.
So I mean,
Yeah, so everybody, pretty much everybody gets fucked over in this
Yeah.
movie, except for Ash. You know, in case you haven't.
Well, I
figured
mean,
it out,
there's not really a happy ending in general in this movie. Like,
so it starts with Linda getting possessed, and
what is the order of possession? We have Linda.
yeah, it was Linda, and
Then she kills.
No, I don't think she actually killed anybody.
Or-
She wounds them and then they turn.
Right.
So
yeah.
it was like,
it was Linda.
no. It was Cheryl,
Was
his
it?
sister.
That's right. Excuse me.
Linda
Cheryl
was his girlfriend.
That's
Okay.
right. It was Cheryl, and then Linda, and then Shelly, and last
and then
Scott.
Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty eats it pretty hard. It's pretty funny too, though. Let's see. This is also where they introduce, and anybody that's familiar with the Evil Dead Army of Darkness series is the fucking chainsaw scene where Ash, you know, has what's his girlfriend again? It's
Shelley. Linda.
Linda.
Shelley's his sister.
That's right.
Cheryl.
Cheryl, sorry.
And
Ashley.
okay. I'm here for
Ashley.
the-
Ash.
yeah, he has the whole like
Ashley.
dismemberment scene because that's apparently one of the only ways to stop them. You have to.
Well, and actually, Roland brought it up when he and I were watching it earlier today together. It seems that, as with the case of my wife, the only way to take them out is through bodily dismemberment.
Yeah.
And Roland's like, wait, how is bodily dismemberment different than just dismemberment? And like, well,
I don't get it.
it sounds more official or sounds like fancy or whatever.
It is, and it is written so in the annals
And then
of
there
the
was another
academe.
instance of this like 2 minutes
said.
later in the movie when they're Ash is all tripping by the window and shit, and then you have the chicks playing the card game, like, you know, what card am I looking
right.
at?
They're guests trying to be
And-
using their ESP.
Yeah, she's like, it's like I have, and the fucking chick who was initially, you know, the holder of the cards lied to the chick that, you know, because she was holding like a nine of diamonds, and the chick's like,
Yeah,
I think it's
Cheryl was.
a 4 of hearts or something like that. She's
Linda
like,
was
"You
lying
got
to
it."
Sherry.
And she's
Shelley.
like, it's like I got this extra sense, you know, like ESP. It's like, well, that's what fucking ESP
Well,
is.
finish the term.
Extra sensory perception.
Way to go.
Like,
You nailed it. And then that's
so
when
it's like,
Cheryl
so
starts.
kind of like, I guess it is kind of like a Lovecraft story where they put in, you know, unnecessary words, you know, that, you know, slow the plot along or slow the plot down. Like,
it's fancy. Yeah.
it's like Tolkien and the Rolling Green Hills that you read about for fucking 300 pages throughout the
so
Lord of
much
the Rings and
wonderful
Hobbit.
Poetry. yes, it's quite interesting. So yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, again, plot basically is explained already. So I guess we can go with the next part of this movie. 'Cause, like, what did you like most about it? Because I mean, most of this movie is taken up by kills, a little bit of like tension with. I mean, it's mostly Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell's character Ash, kind of like just maneuvering through the house, very tense, looking around, seeing things, and kind of like.
That's one thing I like about it. I like the close-up shots where his eyes just like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? And,
Very
you know, it's
expressive, yeah.
totally like, you know, overacted and like,
yeah.
you know, not
very, very
believable,
hammy.
but it's just funny to see,
Exactly.
you know, and I never really think about this with movies, but I mean, I guess like the camera work did come into play with this movie because like
Oh yeah.
the specter of the evil wind or whatever bouncing around, you know,
yeah.
that was cool. And then like
that wobbly cam.
yeah, but then those like close-ups on Campbell, you know, and it's just fucking funny, man. Like,
I think
dug it.
this movie is known basically for its camera work,
Right.
and its practical effects. And the camera work itself, I can't say that it was a breakthrough, but a lot of people weren't doing that because like a handheld shit. He's just going through.
Yeah, I
the
think it
woods,
also
you know?
had a bit to do with the budget. They couldn't afford. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
I wonder where the bloopers edition is. Because like I want to see how many times that cameraman like fell, like he was running through the woods, so it just like catches a root or something. It's like fuck.
Yeah, I mean, with less budget, I mean, you got to get more creative in the way you plan your shots. You know, I mean, if they had all the money in the world, I mean, it would have been a smooth shot going through the fucking woods, you know, or maybe for in this day and age, you would have had like a fucking drone or something, you know.
I thought it was like pretty well, like a smooth, clear, like, you know, transit of this fucking entity. Because it was like almost like serpent like, you know, like because it kind of
it was mostly just Raimi running around with the
know,
camera, jumping over logs and shit.
Well, yeah, but I think it like came with like once again, like you just invoked like this movie is well regarded for its practical effects. I think that is a nice like, you know, example of that. Because if it was just like
they have great
zoom
long
in
takes.
shot, you know, like that's not very exciting, you know. No. But it would, you know, it could potentially, you know, make people like spooked out because it's like, oh, this thing isn't like, you know, hindered by anything going through the fucking woods or whatever.
It gives it a lot more I guess it gives it a lot more animation or whatever, like just or
but I think of like, you know, like waves of evil or like a snake, you know, entity.
Regarding
you know.
those types of shots, it says that a camera trick that they used to emulate the steady cam inexpensively was the shaky cam,
right?
Which involved mounting the camera to a piece of wood and having two camera operators sprint around the swamp. So that's where you get that effect from. See what else I did. Said in the film's final scene was shot with the camera mounted to a bike while it was quickly driven through the cabin to create a seamless long take, which is pretty cool. You gotta. I've seen some people use like or they sit on like a wheelchair and like they'll pull them back to get that like wide shot or like go forward or kind of shit. You know. You got to use what you got or what you can get on the cheap, you know.
Put it on a skateboard and just kick it down.
Yeah, or that too. Yeah, exactly. I mean, now we have people named Jamie who have a drone. Yeah. And we can mount a camera on that and let the fucker fly. Get it. As low budget as we are, we can get a fucking aerial shot. Easy. So, I mean, you got to know people. You got to...
Of the epic battle between three people, because it's just us in the fucking movie.
us against like the entity that is unseen, you know, like
it's gonna be like
near us and we're fucking like throwing fists at it and shit.
About a minute and 27 seconds of the movie setup where we all come and have like a little like moment. 45 minutes of training montages, and then a 4.5 minute fight scene to tie the whole thing together. And we have Jamie's drone just going. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be fun. Should do it.
Yeah.
We need a lot of fake blood because that will create a lot of effect for us.
Oh, just,
I can provide ketchup packets.
Yeah. Just get some molasses and some syrup and coffee.
Just mix all that shit together.
Yeah.
Rolling. You know.
Just, hey, I know.
What do we have like the drone like act like it's entering someone's mouth and then explodes through its ass,
or vice versa.
Or vice versa. Yeah,
the ass, get the molasses
out the mouth. No,
green lighting that. Go.
Yeah, but so, I mean, I think even doing a shot like that in theory. Was basically how you kind of plan these things, plan the effects, and then plan the story around it. Might help as well. Which it seems like that Sam Raimi was kind of just making up shots on the fly.
I mean, yeah, I think that's what he said here. Where was it? They called it a comedy of errors. They got lost in the woods in the during some of the early scenes. Let's see. A lot of several members were injured during the shoots.
It says it right there. It says Raimi developed a sense of how do you say that in French?
I don't know.
Mise en scène. I don't know how the fuck you say it. Speaking French. It's coming up with ideas for scenes at a fast rate. Again, just coming up with them on the fly. If you have to do a next scene and then maybe it's not going your way, kind of just try shit out and see what works.
Oh yeah, I'm remembering the French course I never took. Yeah, that translates roughly to wing it.
Yeah.
Out of your ass? Yeah, sounds like it.
Wingeth out of the assist.
Sure. Fuck it.
Oh, so you have an old English guy with a lisp now all of a sudden?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yep, I'm a retainer.
Looking on IMDb, that was something I was kind of curious about. There's 5 main characters in this movie. And there's a shit ton of people who played fake Shemp. Which
I don't get that.
I don't get that. But if you go back to the Wikipedia page, it says Raimi had been a big fan of the Three Stooges during his youth, which inspired him to use fake Shemps during production. In any scene that required a background shot of a character, he used another actor to substitute it if the original actor was preoccupied. So during a close-up involving Richard de Manicore's hand opening a curtain, Raimi used his own hand in the scene since it was more convenient. And his brother Ted Raimi was used as a fake Shemp in many scenes when the original actor was either busy
That's
or
how you get
preoccupied.
acting credits, so you get more money out of the deal.
Yeah. And they call that, what is that fucking shit called? Per diem.
A scam.
Per diem. You get more per diem for people.
It's
Scam diem.
Scam diem, yeah. So yeah,
money. Get my brother to do it.
Parts of this movie that you enjoyed. Personally, it's all the practical effects.
Yeah.
I enjoy Bruce Campbell's overacting. Everyone's acting isn't that great, but you take what you can get in a movie with this low budget and still works out pretty well.
Yeah, it sort of helped define like the cult horror film.
Genry.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, this was one of the more like notable ones that helps kick off the whole shebang, and it's still popular. When we went to that horror convention last year, the year before, whatever, and
It was 2018,
so year before.
I think.
I thought it was last year, but I
It could have been last year, man. I don't know. Time is whatever. So.
It's hard to keep track of it anymore. When Sam Raimi, Ted Raimi, and Bruce Campbell were out there, it was just like, yes, like the first, we don't think about like, oh man, it's the director of the first Spider-Man trilogy. Like, no, oh fuck, it's Joxer from Xena Warrior Princess.
It's the guy that directed Darkman.
Yeah, that's right. Bruce Campbell from Burn Notice, no, it's fucking Evil Dead, baby.
He was great in that too.
He was actually. It was pretty funny. It's pretty cool.
It was just like, I'm Bruce Campbell. I'm awesome.
Yep.
Fuck you.
I drink a lot and bang women, and like they buy me stuff. It's great. Retiring.
Nice to be like a spy. Cool.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, like that was, obviously they were there for Evil Dead at a fucking horror convention. I mean, come on, but yeah, like that's their whole main claim to fame, right?
It's pretty good that we'll go over like the horror movies that came out in 1981, horror movies specifically, at the time that this one came out, which we forgot to do for Virtuosity.
Yeah, that's true.
But we'll get to that at some point. Sometimes you forget, the alcohol takes charge, and you just gotta roll with things. It's all right.
We roll into the cans.
But Daniel, any kind of specific things that you like about this movie?
Other than I've already kind of half-assed brought up.
Yeah.
Nah, dude. It's a fun ass movie. Like,
yeah, you don't have to get too deep with this movie. It's just a fun horror movie.
I don't think it's possible, dude.
Gore.
No.
Lots of gore, which I enjoyed. It's not too gross out for me. I think it's actually fairly amusing. Roland, you mentioned like the oatmeal whenever the bodies are disintegrating. That was funny.
It's like a candle melting in reverse.
That looks like the Quaker Oats shit.
I think it's probably what it was.
Plain, I'm sure. I don't think there was no need to get
steel cut
flavored.
oats.
Or maybe grits.
Right, maybe. Is that? Did they sprinkle cinnamon in that? I
right? It's for it's for effect.
It's all the iron.
It was just it was left over from breakfast. They just fucking used it.
Well, yeah, they use bologna for the book, and then they use oatmeal for breakfast. That's all
Kraft
cheap
singles.
shit. That's if they're gonna feed everybody, you make a batch of oatmeal, and then you can feed a whole bunch of people. With that.
Right. Yeah.
It's filling. It's what is it? When you're digesting it kind of slow, like
Right. Yeah.
it does that. So like,
you just digest it slowly. So.
yeah, it gives everyone their energy for the day's shooting.
Yep.
And then
it's cheap.
for
It's cheap.
dinner, you give them bologna.
Yeah.
Sits right in your stomach, nice,
maybe
and just
some-
like a block in your fucking.
And some alcohol so they sleep.
Right. Maybe. Some
Everyone is
saltines.
happy.
Maybe.
So I guess let's get to the movies that came out in 1981, or
Quite a few.
not the movies, but the horror movies specifically. Let's stick with the genre on this one.
Oh. Okay. Let me. Okay.
Horror.
Yeah. It fixed it.
Scanners, which was I believe a Cronenberg movie. Y'all seen Scanners? Or
Not
of
in a long
Scanners?
time, actually.
Famous scene of Scanners when the dude's head blew up.
Yeah.
The Howling
I don't know
werewolf
if I
movie.
ever saw that one.
The Beyond.
I need to check that out.
That
not
is
familiar
on
with that one.
that's on Shudder. It's pretty good. Like
it's
more of
also
a
on-
possession kind of
It's also
thing.
on Hulu.
American Werewolf in London.
Also,
classic
very
movie.
great. Yep.
Halloween 2. One of the forgotten sequels. Actually, completely banished from the canon since the most recent Halloween movie came out last year. I've never seen My Bloody Valentine, but I believe that it has to do with the
Thought
minor
you
serial
did.
killer. I've seen the new one. I didn't see the
Yeah,
original.
the remake. Yeah, I think it is the.
Saturday the 14th, which is a movie I've always wanted to
I don't
own.
think I
I've
ever
never
checked-
owned.
Oh, it's on
this movie.
Tubi. Okay, I'll
It's
check it out.
it's a really shitty movie. Friday the 13th Part 2, where Jason finally makes his appearance
That's right.
in the sandbag mask or whatever the fucking potato sack
Oh
on top
yeah,
of his
that's
fucking
right.
head.
It was a potato sack and overalls or whatever.
Yeah.
It was.
We have Funhouse, which was made by Toby Hooper. Have any of you seen Funhouse?
I don't think so.
That's a pretty good one. I've seen it quite a few times. It was a movie that was around when I was a kid that they showed fairly often on TV. The Final Conflict, which is the third movie in the Omen
That's right.
films. There was a fourth one called The
Sam
Awakening, which was
Neill.
like a TV movie. You can kind of take that or leave it as for that one. But it has Sam Neill, also from In the Mouth of Madness.
Yep.
He plays Damien, the son of Satan. The Galaxy of Terror, I've never seen it, but
I think
it
I
should
wanted
be
to
on
see
my
that.
list at some point. Ghost Story, which is a movie based off of the Peter Straub book. Deadly Blessing, never seen it. Dead and Buried, heard about it, seen the cover many times, never seen it. Any other movies from here? Wolfen, a movie I've heard about plenty of times, never seen it. Hell Night, which is a Linda Blair, I've never seen that one as well. Let's see, The Prowler, never seen that one. Piranha 2 came out in 1981, apparently. Night Riders, which was a George Romero movie. I own this movie. It's terrible. It's so fucking bad. It has Ed Harris in there, like, and they're
Yeah.
fucking motorcycle riding knights. Like they're in fucking Knights of the Round Table
Cool
on
premise,
motorcycles.
but-
Yeah. It's really shitty. It's a really shitty movie. I don't know what George Romero was thinking when he made this movie, but oh well. Let me see. Are there any other movies of note during this year? Go down or go up? Sorry.
Hold on. This is another.
I've never seen any of these. Like
This one goes a little.
this
more
is a
into-
more B, C, Z, Y
Yeah,
movies.
Very.
You have to be like you have to like
true
comb
fan.
the fucking back storage area of your video store to have seen these
We'll
fucking
probably make a
movies.
shitfest marathon for all of these at some point because they're definitely worth a few beers.
Some of them are not worth your time,
No,
but some of them are.
But,
but we'll get to those at some point.
yeah, because why not? No, that's pretty much it though.
Is there anything you would have changed specifically about this movie? Maybe more plot device, maybe a bit more Necronomicon-y, Lovecraftian elements to it.
No, like it's a pretty good. Like actually, it's very good considering like all of the limits that that are problems that Sam Raimi worked around, I guess, getting through this. It has a great ending. I mean, it's just a typical horror, surprise. Nobody, well, like Ash makes it to the next day. The sun's rising, and then he's just center shot with the Spectre cam, just sort of winding around and stopping right on his about to shit his pants face, and the screen blacks out. So I did like that. But
how would you say the ending? Like, what do you think of the ending specifically?
It was amusing. Like, I thought it was appropriate for a horror movie kind of thing.
I'm always I prefer endings to horror movies that don't have happy endings.
Yeah, because that's bullshit.
Because
I don't like happy endings. And I don't like a lot of foreign films do this, where it's like a bittersweet ending, where it's like,
or maybe it's just like a dream they're having where they get attacked again or some shit.
Right, or like everybody makes it in the end, and then like the last few segments of the scene, like almost everyone's killed off, and like one person makes it, and like he attends attend their funeral.
But like one thing that never gets resolved really with this
shit.
ending is like what happens with Ash. Like, what does he face? So I think the way this movie should have ended. So I will change one thing, that the evil wave of camera shakiness would have just shot up into the sky or something. So it's like the evil's still there. Ash thinks he got away,
Yeah.
And it sets up the next movie.
Well, it kind of does. In how the next movie is, I guess, technically a remake of the first.
Right. But so one thing on this next movie, it's like jumping directly to Army of Darkness.
It does kind of, right, yeah. Army of Darkness is the
because
true
Evil Dead
sequel.
2 is like, it's a funny remake, and then let's, tighten some of this, lore up a little bit.
Right, and throw in some timey-wimey shit.
Yeah, and then they bring in some extra characters as well. Some outside folks.
I mean, Army of Darkness is by above and beyond like anything the first two movies.
Well, Army of Darkness,
it's got full cast.
Like, basically takes this.
I don't even think you need the earlier two movies.
No, you don't
at all.
I mean, you can
actually can just watch Army of Darkness.
When I saw Army of Darkness for the first time, I wasn't aware that they were even tied to these two other movies. When I saw that, I was like,
episode's going to be good when we get to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a whole beginning of that does like a quick recap, and I was like, wait, what? What the fuck happened with this movie? And then realizing, oh shit, like Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2.
It's like an action horror comedy.
Yeah, part of this fucking movie. And I actually remember the poster for Army of Darkness being
great.
in the theater in the Harlingen Mall.
Isn't it like a take on the Star Wars
Yeah,
poster?
like the girl's holding his leg and he's kind of like all muscular and shit. Like
holding his gun.
with his chainsaw and shit.
Like
it's a chainsaw
it's
and the
most
gun,
excellent.
I think.
Yeah.
It's a great poster, and like everyone should have it in their fucking
I think my
room if you even like
my
this movie at
brother's
all.
got one. I don't think he has that one. I think he has the other one where it's just like Ash holding up his hand, like his chainsaw arm or whatever on the side.
Like we'll get to it at some point, but Army of Darkness kind of got fans that weren't just horror movie fans, but like pretty much it was more universal.
Yeah, it was a lot of comedy and
it was a period piece, so to speak.
Yeah.
It had time travel.
That's the one my brother has. This one right here.
Doesn't even look even close to fucking
to the
Bruce Campbell.
No.
I mean, he looks like fucking Conan.
Yeah.
With the fucking chainsaw and the gun,
right, like just holding his arms up, and then the standard Army of Darkness, which is again like a sort of a indirect reference to the Star Wars poster. It's fucking great.
All right. Well, what else do we have? What do we do with these movies here?
Ratings?
Yes, ratings. Yes. Sorry.
Yes.
So, Daniel, I'll go with you first. What is your rating of this movie? 1 out of 5. Go.
Solid 4, man. Super fun. I'm never upset watching this movie. I never go like, oh, god damn it. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But not perfect, so I'll dock it a point
by
for
any
that.
means, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll go
it's
next.
no Army of Darkness,
I'll go next. I I guess I'll agree. I will agree with you, Daniel. I will give it a solid 4. Lots of elements I do like. Not my favorite in the trilogy, even though it's like a straight horror movie, which is something I probably would like. I probably prefer Evil Dead more, and I kind of see Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness as completely different movies, almost like not even tied together necessarily, because they're basically they're pretty different movies. Yeah. But I'll give it a solid 4 because I love the practical effects. I love all the gore. I love again, like the way they played it straight. It was just a horror movie. And again, if you show it to children, they might get scared. So that's also good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Prepare them for the sequels.
Yeah. And not that I condone this kind of act, but the tree rape scene did make an impression on me when I was younger. I saw it for the first time. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I couldn't believe that they made a fucking tree trunk just slammed.
Pleasure a woman.
Pleasure. I won't say that, but like
maybe she's into the rough stuff. I don't know.
Like when I saw that scene for the first time, I was kind of shocked when I saw that. And
word.
I remember we replayed it. I was like, did I fucking see that? And we replayed that scene like a few times. I was like, wow, they did it.
It's just Ray. Like
I'm always if it makes an impression on me with like a certain scene. I say this when I watch Sleepaway Camp and the fucking spoilers. So they see the girl at the end and there's a fucking dick hanging off the fucking girl, and she sliced the kid's head off. You know, that was a particular scene that struck me when I first saw it. In fact, I jumped up and went, what? It was crazy. But this one was just kind of, did they really fucking do that? Yeah, they did. But yeah, all the gore, the gouging of the eyes, the
camera.
I like the close-ups really of the actual practical effects taking, doing their thing, you know, like there's slicing, you see the slicing, you see the animation, claymation, all that shit. I enjoyed all of that. But the story itself is not that great.
No.
You know, it's okay. It's an okay story, but I mean, it's all effects. Right. So for that, I'll just give it a solid 4. And again, a movie I do enjoy every time I do watch it. So.
This movie happens in the course of one night. So, you know.
Yeah. And it's a short movie too. It's a very short movie.
Brief.
It's like an hour, 20 minutes.
Family
hour 26.
fun holiday.
It was like 80 some minutes. Mm-hmm. Right? It's really short. What about you, Roland?
I give this a 4. This is one of my. It's a part of one of my favorite, movie.
And
series.
it has one of my favorite characters in cinema history, Ash. and favorite actors, Bruce Campbell. He's not even a great actor, but I mean, like,
no, he's not.
I still love him as,
but like, yeah,
he's like really great on screen.
Sort of leaned into the campy hammy, like persona, and it works because it's just funny and silly. But it isn't. This isn't my favorite movie in the trilogy. It is. I still really like it a lot because it is almost separate to like just a sort of its own style of movie. It's like I said, it's a lot darker in tone than the others, and a bit gorier, I think, than the others are as well. And I just remember seeing this as a kid and being like, where the fuck are the rest of the, like, I want to see another movie like this, kind of thing. Because, it was kind of like if you mixed, I don't know, like, like to me, it was just sort of like watching something with like a little bit of Hellraiser and like a little bit of The Exorcist in there. Like, I really liked the floating, like possession scene like that. That to me was like, oh, that's so cool. She's just like, it was just so iconic, I guess, to see her do that kind of thing and just scream at people, I'll swallow your soul and all that kind of crap. And so yeah, like I did really enjoy it. I don't know that any of the other actors besides Ash were ever in anything else, but I mean, like,
we check their filmography, but it's not necessarily important.
No. I mean,
although the same 3 girls that came out in this movie pretty much do the convention circuit regularly. You can, like, I think the last time we didn't go, I think it was last year, 2019. They were going to be at the Texas Frightmare, and they were having like an Evil Dead reunion.
It was last year that we went, though. I want to say it was 2019.
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Whatever. Yeah. That would have been great though.
Still fun. Yeah. I think that for the first, I'm assuming all of them this was their first acting gig.
Yeah.
I think they did pretty good. I've seen people get their first acting gig, or I've seen movies with their people's first acting gig, and it's really fucking terrible. And not just the fact that their acting's bad, but the story's bad. The shooting, how the cinematography's bad. Like, it's just bad all around. If it's everyone's first go at it. But I think Bruce Campbell, Sam Raimi, Ted Raimi, they're all very creative folks, so they made do for what they had, even though it was very minimal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they made bologna into like props and shit, so that's great. And oatmeal.
Into the
Fantastic.
Book of the Dead.
So, anything else you want to add to this movie? Because
No, it's
the next, again, of course, the next in the
pretty much
trilogy is
available
Evil Dead
everywhere.
2.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you can find it on YouTube. I know it's on Netflix. Amazon,
Are you talking
Prime.
about this movie?
Yeah.
It's on Netflix. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can find like a shittier quality version on YouTube.
Which would lend to the resolution of the film as it was released at the time. Like, it's not gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're into the 4K stuff, which is also great because why
Would
not?
this movie translate well in 4K?
Probably. I mean,
Was it 4D HK 40K or some shit like that?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. There's one that's a little bit higher resolution, isn't there?
Like 8K. That's a thing already.
Oh, I don't know. I don't fucking know. Man.
It's a thing already. It's dumb, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't follow that bullshit. If I can see it well enough, the screen's good enough.
I mean, I'm happy with 1080p, and that's good.
Oh, even you have some high standards, Roland.
High-ish standards. No,
I'm fine with VHS quality too. So.
I mean, that would be ideal. Yeah.
All right. I guess we'll just bring this episode to a close. My name is Ray.
This is not Ray.
Good job. And in Pacific Northwest Studios,
This is Daniel.
enjoy yourself. All right.
See ya.
See you, dudes.